Now, fellas, now you know me. I'm a little different. I am a cold open guy. I like to just jump into the conversation. I like to raw dog it right out the pack.
Whoa.
No intros. And no disrespect to any of my guys that like the preamble. That's all the well. That's very good. I love it for you. But I am ready to go because this week is all about 3 words: beat Green Bay.
Oh, he's he's amped.
I'm ready. I'm ready, Joe. You hear me? You see me, right?
I like
I'm
this
ready.
version of pay. I like this version of pay.
I'm ready. It is war, and then we gonna get it back in blood for you, Dave. I ain't like what they did to you last week. We coming back for it. We coming back for it. As usual, I'm joined by my brethren, my NFC North cohorts, coming out of Detroit, repping those Detroit Lions. I've got the Bleach the Speakers crew, June and Foster Child. What's up, gentlemen?
What's happening, man? We raw dogging with you.
I love it. I love it. Also leading Fans First Sports Network's Viking coverage. We have the venerable Dave. How's it going?
Hey, still pissed off at last week, and I want you to beat the holy you-know-what's out of that team from Wisconsin.
We're coming for it. We're coming for them. But we're going to get into this pseudo playoff game within the division just a little bit later. We have a schedule we have to keep with this show. And first things first, we do have to talk about last week. And it's probably going to be a little emotional. Foster, we got to talk about this travesty that happened on Saturday. We have to talk about it. What happened against Dallas?
Wait. Hold on. Let me say this real quick, and then Foster, you can get right to it. Emotional would have been talking to Foster Saturday night or Sunday. I'm sure he's a lot better than what he was. But go ahead, Foster.
No, so I mean, I will say it was an exhausting day. I went to see the Pistons win for the first time in 30 games. So that, and we actually did win. And then the Lions game was the conclusion of the night. And yeah, it was very emotional game. The media coverage and all the scandals and all that has been very exhausting. And I feel the way Dan Campbell feels as far as, we're moving on. We're using that to fuel our fire for the rest of the year. And we're ready to move on from that. What happened. We still definitely feel like there was a disservice done. I didn't continue to look into the explanations and what they said post the whole situation, but I'm just ready to move forward and not allowing that to hold us back or something that we're going to come back on and say, whoa, if we had did this, and if the refs hadn't did this to us, we're not in victim mode. We're in a mode of continuing to be the aggressors and building upon a playoff atmosphere and using that as experience to help us moving forward.
Before I segue to you, June, I want to get our Vikings. I want to get our Vikings opinion about this. I know you saw it. It was the only game on Saturday. I've got some thoughts, Dave. Before I even plug mine, what did you think?
I think Detroit got absolutely hosed, as they would say up north in Canada. It was a joke. That linemen are briefed to do that. They do that all the time. At least two usually go up. One's going, I'm eligible, and the other guy's going, he's the eligible one, and it's to deceive the defense. That's normal play, normal game planning. We hear that Detroit even briefed the referee crew before the game that they planned on doing this. except for the white hat who failed to call the correct number because he saw number 70 coming in, and 70 had been coming in all during the game rather than listening, like I'm sure his wife complains he doesn't do. He went with what he saw, and he screwed over Detroit. And I'm not just talking the Lions. I'm talking all of Detroit. Why? If that was a successful play, which it should have been, Detroit wins the game. Then Detroit comes into week 18, and they're playing for possibly the number 1 seed in the NFC. With the number 1 seed in the NFC, they have the opportunity to host every single game. And when you now can go as high as 2, right? But minimum 3 seed, that means if you make it all the way to the NFC Championship, you're going on the road. That is millions of dollars that could have gone into the local Detroit economy that now goes off to Dallas or Philly or San Francisco or wherever it ends up. Mm-hmm. They didn't just screw the team with that bad call. They screwed the whole fan base and the whole city. And that, to me, is unacceptable. Plus, take on what happens now to their credibility that gambling is now legal in most states, and that's part of it. And you're like, whoa. And then you take the conspiracy theories of Goodell was sitting there up with Jerry Jones and all that other BS that goes along with it. And who gets screwed the most but the city of Detroit? That's coming from a Vikings fan. It should have never happened. The Lions should have won that game. That referee and his crew, and he's been around a whole bunch of these controversial calls, and guess what? He's got your game pay. It's going to be interesting to see if anything happens, and from what I gather, nothing will. I mean, the referee is, I heard it the way I heard it, blah, 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 right? Ask his wife. I'm sure she hears the same thing from him. But my feelings go out to the people of Detroit and the possible ramifications for losing that extra home game, which would have been a big one.
Shout out to Dave for a great rant. That goes out to that terrible umpire crew. That was a terrible call. It every which way. Everything you said, Dave, is correct. They had Dave Campbell let them know, like, this is what we're going to be running in this game, and they came in, they reported, and he still fumbled. But you know, I hate that for Detroit. They get screwed by the refs all the time. June, this isn't the first time it happened. You know, it's always some funky ref stuff going on with you all in big time games. And I'm sure everyone felt how Dan Campbell felt after the game. He was livid. How's the temperature? How's the fan temperature taking this?
Well, first off, I was okay until I heard Dave a second ago. I was fine.
Yeah.
I've been triggered. We were bamboozled, run amok,
hoodwinked,
led astray, hoodwinked. I was good. I promise you, I had no issues with. I was good. I was at peace with it. It is what it is. But I'm mad. But I think the city as a whole, very, very disappointed. And I can honestly say we feel like this is what happens to the Lions in big games. And it's like the second time it's happened in a big game versus Dallas. So it's one of those things where it's like, why do they hate us? That's the atmosphere. Now, going into the game, me and Foster, if you watch our shows, we've always said, like, we don't know about winning in Dallas, but so it hits kind of different when you actually do enough to win and a call causes it not to happen like it is. So we moved on from the actual call. Then we got upset about the decision that the coach made to continue to go for 2.
Yeah.
So, but you have to understand the ramifications. I think if that's a desperately needed win, Campbell kicks the extra point with no problem. But since it's one of those things where, we're just going to take a chance and roll the dice, and if it goes, it's our year, So I think if it was one of those games where you needed to win, he kicks the extra point. But
what Dan Campbell was doing there was he's showing he has faith in his players, right? If you're an offensive lineman and you're out there and the whole fiasco happens, right? And then Dan goes, which is probably the smart move. All right, we're going to kick it and tie the ball game, and then, hope for a 50-50 coin flip to see who, wins the game in overtime. That would have probably been the conservative smart move, but it would have deflated the players on the field, especially the linemen, because they're like, what, he doesn't believe in us to get it in, even from the 7?
Yeah.
What he did was, I believe in you guys. Go get it. And it almost happened again. And that's, believe it or not, as a player myself, not at the NFL level, that's what you want. And that's going to take you a long way in these playoffs. At least it should, barring some bullshit play call where the flag goes the wrong way.
Right.
But like I said, I feel sorry for the people in Detroit. The possible millions of dollars lost that could have gone to the restaurants and the bars, the merchandise sales, and everything else that revolve around having a ginormous event in the city is now lost because an idiot in a white hat.
That's the worst type of idiot, an idiot in a white hat. Yeah, it's but it's nothing you can do now. I mean, the stones on Dan Campbell should be. Thank you for pointing this out, June. He's got some onions, and to have faith in golf is no short order. No short order. All right. Elsewhere in the division, Dave, you and your Vikings, you all were fighting for your playoff lives. Sunday nights, New Year's Eve, right before the ball dropped, it seemed something like something else dropped too. Tell us about it.
Well, we started Jaron Hall, our 5th round rookie. He looked absolutely lost. And why? I have no idea. Versus Atlanta, he was dead on. Now he looked absolutely lost. We do not know why it was. He didn't seem prepared. He wasn't reading his reads properly. He wasn't seeing the open receivers, and they were open receivers. Our offensive line blocked like absolute garbage. But part of that's quarterback. Offensive line blocking and quarterback play are very much dependent on each other. If he's dropping back 7 steps instead of 5, that puts the marker for where the left tackle in particular is blocking. It moves that off. And Darius Hall had his worst game ever. And it just, one thing after another snowballed. At halftime, we brought in Nick Mullins. Nick Mullins is crazy. He's, like I've said before, a Brett Favre light. He's absolutely insane. He's entertaining as heck to watch play football because he'll gun it anywhere. But it wasn't enough, and we couldn't come back. And the Green Bay Packers, They had us figured out. We were depleted on defense. A lot of our starters were out, and they just put players into the empty zones. We'd put 6 guys on the line, then play zone afterwards on the back end, and they'd pick out the zones. And the professional quarterback, Jordan Love, had enough time to sit there and read where that was and see where those holes are that he knew his receivers were going to be into. And he picked us apart that way. And that's what happens. We only had one pass rusher, Danielle Hunter. That was it. All our other edges are gone. They're injured. They're not playing. They're doing whatever. And we had, backups on backups who can't do squat. We don't have any interior defensive line push. And so Danielle was doubled all day. The only time he got close is when he moved down to nose tackle over to center. That was amusing and fun to watch. But it was just a very bad day. It's the only game or second game this year that wasn't within one score. And we got beat. We got beat bad. And I apologize for it. We eliminated the Chicago Bears in the process. Didn't want to do that, but the only way the Chicago Bears would have stayed alive is if we had tied. And I'd prefer to tie over a loss. But it was bad. I tell my friends, what's it like being a Vikings fan? My daughter is a dean at a high school down in New Mexico, and she goes, Dad, some of the students came up and go, how is your dad still a Vikings fan? Why does he put up with all of that? And she shakes her head and just, it is what it is. It's in his blood. He puts up with all that disappointment and frustration. But it's hard. But like I said, I tell my friends, if we go 2-15 on a season, there's 2 games I want to win every season. And they are against Green Bay, who this week I'm wearing orange in solidarity because I want to see your team go up there and whoop some cheese butt.
Show your shirt again there, Pay.
Big cheese, greater energy coming out of this show today. I love it. All right, Dave. We don't hold it against you. We know we was asking for a lot to sneak it to the playoffs. Things happen. You know what? The way we started this season, what was it? 0-4? Well, no, 0-5. Things happen. We really shot ourselves in the foot in the first 5 weeks of the season, so it was no big deal.
And the only one we started 1-4.
True.
But we led the division most after that, once we got up to about 500. No, I shouldn't say we didn't lead the division. We were within range of winning the division.
Right. We were never in range of winning the division. However, it feels like the show was turned on its axis over the last month and a half because it's, again, another Wednesday. I'm the only one that can celebrate a win. We had Atlanta come into town, and I told you all last week we're gonna win out. We had no issues with Atlanta. I didn't think we would have any issues with Atlanta, and we beat them by 20. I think that's our second largest win of the season. Again, Justin Fields, if it wasn't for those 2 4-touchdown passes, 4-touchdown games that he had earlier in the season, this would have been his best game of his career. He was lights out. He didn't really make any glaring mistakes other than a late game fumble, but the game was well out of hand by that time. We didn't even lose the fumble. Khalil Herbert, back-to-back 100-yard games. He scored a touchdown in 2 consecutive games. He's looking like the guy who made Poe's decision to move on for David Montgomery. He's looking like that guy again after having some early season injury issues. Our running game is unstoppable. No one's stopping us from running the ball. Atlanta came into this game pretty high on defense. They weren't allowing 200-yard passers in the last 4 of the last 5 weeks. They haven't let anybody run on them really, and the Bears did whatever they wanted to do, like real easy. It wasn't even an issue. The only issue for the Bears is staying consistent. We shall see how that goes. And if you ask me again, the Bears are pointing up, and that team we got to play this week, they're leveled out. Even I'm excusing what happened last week. I don't care. We got them right in our gun sights. We got something special for them. But before we head to our break, I do want to shout out the Bears for winning 5 consecutive home games. I'm sorry. Club Dub is open for the foreseeable future. And shout out to Detroit. You all, the Pistons, they finally got off the schneid, won a game. I'm happy for them. I'm happy they didn't have to come into the new year dragging that baggage with them. Excellent job. So on the other side of this break, let's talk about Week 18. All right, let's start with Minnesota this go round. Minnesota, you guys are playing the Detroit Lions once again, right? You were hoping this would be a game that had the division up for grabs. Didn't work out that way. Sorry, Dave. Those Detroit guys got you this time. But
hey, the injury bug is what took most of it. But yes.
Oh yeah. Definitely. You guys are walking medical tents right now. What are you realistically looking forward to coming out of this game?
Well, we do have a 3% chance to make the playoffs if all goes well. And that scenario is, first off, we beat Detroit. Secondly, Chicago Bears beat Green Bay. Arizona beats Seattle. And we get a Atlanta win against New Orleans, which I'd love to see, or a Carolina win against Tampa Bay. If all those things happen, we can make the playoffs. Do I want all those things to happen? I'm not rooting for my team to lose. Let me qualify that. I never do that. But I do not see all those things happening. Now, what's going to happen is later today, and we're recording on Wednesday, one of my partners, Tyler Fornes, and I are going to talk about how the Vikings should approach this game. Today, they announced, after questioning all week, who's going to start at quarterback, and it's going to be Nick Mullins. Nick Mullins, like I said before, is wild and entertaining to watch play football. He can put up over 400 yards. And also in the process, he can gift the ball at least 4 times while doing it. If he can stay turnover free, which is a big, big ask, the Vikings can put up enough points possibly to outlast Detroit in Detroit. However, our defense hasn't gotten any healthier, and I worry that Brian Flores, who we were lauding tremendously through the middle of the season as he was shutting teams down, quarter after quarter after quarter, is 12 quarters in a row, something like that, with 0 points scored. Well, he's been figured out. In the last 3 games, the Vikings have allowed 90 points to be scored on them. Can't win football games that way. Just can't. But like I said, there's a lot of injuries. Now, will the Vikings play players? See, the debate was, are they going to play to win? Or are they going to play to see what they have available, going into next season? Let's bring in Anthony Carter, that undrafted rookie at edge, to see what he's got. Can he play, as an example? We don't know. It looks like with the choice of Nick Mullins, they're going with their let's play to win. And that's what coaches and players would want. They want to have a chance. They still have that slight 3% chance to get in the playoffs. They're going to go for it. I wish them luck. I'm not going to root for them to lose. But if they do, I hope it's a great game. They demonstrate a lot of stuff. We see a whole lot of stuff. They put up a lot of points. Only, Detroit plays a little bit better to help secure our draft position. And we can go from one of the best teams in the NFC North to the basement of the NFC North. It's quite possible. If that's the case, puts us in position to possibly take our quarterback of the future, which I've talked about before, in the draft. But as of right now, we've got to play Detroit in Detroit. We figure, as Vikings fans, they are pissed off. They're going to be motivated. There is no way Dan Campbell is going to rest people and settle for the for the 3 seed, because with a win, they have a chance at the 2nd seed. They won't know until after the 3:00 games, but they still have a chance. So it's going to be a tough test for what remains of the Minnesota Vikings on Sunday.
Yeah, it's hard not to look into the future when you got this very minuscule chance of making the playoffs. Trust me, I know. But Detroit beat Foster in June. So the game is at Ford Field. You guys are 5-2 at home this year. I don't think you all have the ability to move up in the seedings. Well, seeding, playoff seedings. Am I right?
I think that if the Cowboys lose to the Commanders, that could change something, which is fairly unlikely, even in Washington. I think that could help us. I didn't really go through all of the scenarios and stuff like that, but I think there is some possibility for us to move up, but I don't think it's a high probability.
There's a scenario where you could move into the number 2 seed, but it would take a Cowboys loss and I think an Eagles loss.
Yeah, they both have to lose.
Right.
One of those can happen. The Eagles don't look like they want to win games anymore.
Yeah, Philly. I
think Philly plays who?
Philadelphia is playing the New York Giants.
The Giants. Yeah.
Cardinals?
Yeah, they did lose to the Cardinals. Beat them up, but you know what? We ain't gonna talk about that because I'm gonna get upset because Paris Johnson looks like a future Hall of Famer out there on Sunday. All right, so for Detroit, what are the keys that's going to lead to this victory? In fact, outside of what are the keys, what does it lead to the victory? What are you looking to see from your team as a gear up for the playoffs? Your first playoff berth in how many years?
It ain't been that long since a playoff.
That is some time, Jerry Joe. Come on now, that's some time.
When the last time the Bears been in the playoffs?
4 years ago.
It was a couple years before that. I mean, 2017?
That was the last time the Bears were in the playoffs. Or is it 18? No, I'm thinking about 18.
I mean, you're not that far removed. Let's not get ahead of yourself with a few wins at the end of the season. That doesn't mean being paid. You've been throwing little jabs. Hold on. Let's put it all in perspective. Nobody has won a Super Bowl in this division since 1985. Relax.
Yeah, that was one team. One team that's won the Super Bowl in this division. Bears are propping us up. But again, not about the Bears right now. What can Detroit fans expect to see from their team as a tune-up for the playoffs?
The most important thing, and then that's just to be honest, is to I don't like backpedaling into the playoffs. So you want to win, and you want to be healthy. You don't want to lose any key players in this game. I don't think with a win it'll be enough to move up in the playoff rankings. I think we're locked at 3 as far as I'm concerned, in my opinion, because I don't see Dallas losing to Washington, and I don't see Philly losing to the Giants. It's just I don't see it, especially with the way Philly has been playing. Like they need this game. They need that game, and Dallas is not going to go into cruise control against Washington. So I think the key thing is to play well, stay healthy, don't get hurt, no key injuries, just get through the game, but you don't want to backpedal into the game, into the playoffs. So
would you be expecting to see your complete arsenal of starters? Let's not say starters. Let's say your stars. Would you expect to see them play a full game?
I think that if there's an opportunity to pull them, they will. But you play to win. If any of the starters have the slightest nick or ailment, I don't think they're going to play. Let's say one of our wide receivers have like a sore ankle. Probably won't play.
We do.
Yeah. So probably won't play.
Just to elaborate as far as the keys and stuff like that. I definitely want to see. I'm more concerned with the defensive aspect of it. I'm not really concerned with Jared Goff having two shaky performances for the most part. Well, we haven't lost 2 games in a row all year, so pretty much Goff might have a stinker, but he usually turns it around and gives us a good performance on the second go. And as Dave said, the defense has struggled quite a bit as far as Minnesota. They gave about 100+ yards to Aaron Jones, and Jaden Reed, as Michigan State receivers tend to do, had a pretty good game. But I'm more concerned with. Hey, I had to get that off. I had to get it. Congratulations to U of M. But anywho, but yeah, we have some defensive guys that are getting healthy. By the likes of James Houston, Aleem McNeil, and CJ Gardner-Johnson. It sounded like CJ was going to make his return this week. And I think it's still up in the air as far as James Houston and Aleem McNeil is concerned. But we have an interesting situation in the secondary. We got a lot of guys that are making plays right now. If he's making, if he had another interception last week, Branch has been playing well. Even Kendall Vildor, the guy that we picked up from the Bears this year, I think he forced a fumble. I think he forced a fumble on Lamb last week. So we got a lot of guys playing well right now, and this will be an opportunity for them to play around with the rotations and possibly even look at if he playing some corner next week, this week coming up. And I think the defense is more of what I'm concerned about than whether or not the offense is going to be clicking on all cylinders, because we've been able to run the ball pretty much all year long, and Goff has pitched some pretty good games throughout the year. And yeah, I haven't seen him duplicate 2 bad performances in a row. So I don't anticipate that'll happen against Minnesota.
He should have plenty of time to throw the football.
We need that. He needs that.
Yeah, so we're going to try to do something real nice for Detroit this weekend. I want you all to go ahead and win this game easily. No injuries, nothing, no controversies coming out of this game. It to be an easy win, and that'll springboard the Vikings into a better draft position, and possibly have a quarterback of your future fall into your lap at top 10 pick. Right? That'll be a top 10 pick.
Should be. We sit right now at, I think, 12 or 13 right now. And we'll drop down to 8 or 9, possibly, I think 10-ish, somewhere in there.
The reason I say we're going to do something nice for you, we want you all to slide into that second seed. We want to give you a mystery team to see in the first round, because that team that's currently sitting at 7, they're taking an L this weekend. They got nothing good coming. They're going to be down multiple scores come the fourth quarter. That is the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah.
They won at – go ahead, Dave.
Well, I'm about to say, Detroit eliminated them last year. It's now the Bears' turn. It's failed. Our turn. It's the Bears' turn.
It's our turn. You know what? I'm not one for karma, but I'm not one for energy and spirits and all that stuff like that. But they got something coming. They got it coming. I'm tired of the yapping coming from their team. This guy Aaron Rodgers, he's put his foot in his mouth a lot this week. He said I think it was yesterday or was it today? From the Jets, the quarterback, the quarterback on the sideline for the New York Jets. I think he was doing his daily Pat McAfee appearance, and he had something to say about this rivalry. He said, "If you lose 9 straight, is it really a rivalry?" Let me tell you something.
Ooh.
Let me tell you something. I want him to stay in his cloud-filled closet business. Stay out of.
Be nice, Pay. Be nice. Be nice. I know you want to say some things, Pay.
I do want to take it. I want to take it to a high level at that point too. But I want him to stay out of NFC North business. This is not for him anymore. He left. He went to the land of overrated pizza and skyscrapers. Stay there. Stay there. Stay out of our business. This is between us, the land of the best pizza, and the city in Wisconsin with all the cheese. This season, the Bears have excommunicated a lot of demons. We broke a almost year-long losing streak. We won 2 games in the division for the first time in years. It is time we break this long losing streak to the Packers. It is well beyond time. I said already, our arrow is pointing up. Theirs is leveled out. I'm not going to say they're pointing down, but theirs is leveled out. They are not a world beater. Since the week 6. Well, no, let me stick to that. Since week 10, the Bears have a top 5 defense. Our defense is one of the best playing right now. We take the ball away from you. We stop you from running the ball. You can't even throw the ball over our linebackers without having to think twice about it. TJ Edwards he's a man amongst boys right now. Montez Sweat is looking like he's going to be one of the best defensive ends in the division. And Kyler Gordon, Jaquan Brisker, Jalen Johnson, even Tariq Stevenson. As for a rookie, he's coming along now. He's not being bullied over the last month and a half. Everything's pointing in our direction. And Justin Fields, this is his time. Justin Fields and all of the Justin Fields detractors. If there's going to be any punctuation put on this season, on his era as a Bears quarterback, it is right now. It is this game. There is no argument to be had about who you should draft, Caleb Williams or other, if Justin Fields goes out there and demolishes this team the way he should. He needs to be the best player on the field come Sunday. No questions about it. If he is, then that's my quarterback. Shout out to T.O. That's my quarterback if he goes out there and does what he's supposed to do.
This is his game to prove it. He's, won a lot of games the second half of the season. And this one, when the Bears, at least looking from afar, when the Bears are trying to decide, do they draft a quarterback or do they stick with Justin Fields? This is the one he needs to step up and put a stamp on it and say, no, this team's mine.
Exactly. No one game in the regular season is more important than the other. However, you do make statements, and there is no bigger statement to make right now with your immediate future hanging in the balance. And this team that you've lost to your whole career and played terrible against your whole career. If you want to show and prove that, hey, I am ready to take the next step. I'm ready to become a next level competitor in this league. It's now or never. You can't talk about we'll get them next time. There is no next time in their season. Take it from them. Show everybody that you're here to stay. All the talk that you had coming into the season about he's going to be a top 10 quarterback. He's the best quarterback in the division. He's a superstar. He's a top 85 player coming into the season as according to the NFL Network countdown. All of it needs to be proven on Sunday. And I can't wait for him to do it.
We'll be rooting for you.
That's right. I need all you all's energy. I don't know if you all are familiar with Dragon Ball Z, but I need all your spirit. We're going to put it all into a giant energy ball. I'm going to hail it at Wisconsin, and we're going to end them for 2023. All those cow tippers, they got to go home.
I'm Dave from Vikings First and Skull, and I endorse this message.
Thanks, Dave. Thank you. Love the orange. Got to look good in orange, Dave. You got to keep it.
Like I said, it was my dad's favorite team, and it led to a bunch of weekends where we had fun talking back and forth to each other.
Excellent. All right, fellas, let's start to wind down. Where can we catch the Bleachers to Speakers, June?
You can catch Bleachers to Speakers on Motor City Metrics. That's the YouTube. You can also subscribe to Bleachers to Speakers on YouTube. That's the new channel that me and Foster just started. You can check us out at all the podcast streaming platforms, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, you name it. And you can catch us on there. Download the episodes. Check us out. We are with FFSN. So just type in Bleachers to Speakers, FFSN, on any of those streaming sites, and you'll get us.
I appreciate it. Thanks a lot there. Dave, where can we get all the Vikings news and notes and content?
Well, we reside over on Vikings First and Skull on YouTube. You can find us at Vikings First and Skull on your favorite podcast aggregator. We are part of Fans First Sports Network. And you can find us over at Fans First Sports Network. On their website, you can find our written pieces and also other links to said shows there as well. We've got some writers, including myself, that put up stuff almost daily. And we're here for the Vikings community. I call it Vikings land. And we're here to talk football, especially like today with the NFC North.
Thanks a lot, Dave. And obviously, you can catch the Bear Claw Pod anywhere you get your podcast. That's Pandora, Amazon Music, Spotify, Apple Music, Stitcher, anywhere, even Google Podcasts while they're still around. You can catch us all on any podcast platform. We're also available on YouTube at the Bear Claw Pod. We're also available on TikTok at the same name, Facebook. Also on Instagram. Catch us all. We got all the fan engagement, the memes. We come correct with the memes. Catch us for that, obviously. And all the breaking news, which we should have lots to do during the off season. Make yourself home, subscribe, download, share with a friend. Keep us around, and do the same thing with Bleachers to Speakers and First and Skull. You all know how we dismount. Dave, what did you got for us?
Just Skull Vikings. Let's win this game.
Bleachers to Speakers, Foster, June, what you got?
Hey, I got a Bears shirt on by accident, by the way. Just dawned on me. says Bears.
Wait, hold on, Foster. Wait, time out. You got what?
It's a Lenore Ryan Bears, but it is a bear. That is a bear.
Okay. Okay. That's plausible. Okay.
Check your quick there.
I mean, we can cheer. You can cheer for him, but you don't wear the paraphernalia now. You don't.
Oh no, this is red. This is red.
Okay. Just making sure. It looks a little orange from over here.
Give us that spirit. Come on, Foster. We need that spirit energy for the spirit bundle we gonna unleash. Yeah, we need that. We need everybody here to bear down.